Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early. It's 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. As you can see, I just walked back in the door. I just walked in from my 5 mile walk around town. This is the second video I'm doing today, Thursday, October 20th, 2022. And I was contemplating what I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to do something a little click worthy, something, I have to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I want to do videos where I could share some of the experiences I've had along with the lessons I've learned and interesting things going on in the world. I was going to talk about the new quarters. There's new quarters coming out with important females in history. I didn't know this. Monday, they're coming out with a quarter with Anna May Anna May Wong. She was an actress in the 50s, I believe, Asian American actress. There's going to be these new quarters. I believe Sally Ride is going to be on them. So I was thinking about talking about this, but I was like, it's interesting, it's cool, but it might not get a lot of views. I was thinking about doing a video about the first time I ever got my nose broken. An important lesson I learned, and that's what I'm going to talk about right here, right now, today. Do not think that this video is about bravado, about me, I'm a tough guy, I'm getting in fights. No, this is quite the opposite. It's the lesson I learned. It's better to walk away. It's better if you can avoid an altercation. It takes much more self-confidence and manliness to walk away from these situations. And also, what I'm going to tell you is probably one of the times I got beat the worst beating I ever took in my life. So yeah, this is, I'm not bragging here, believe me. All right, let me start at the very beginning. Because everything going on in the world today, the election coming up, there's a lot of situations on the road. I don't want to use the RR word, but a lot of anger on the road. And I wanted to share this with you. This is very important lesson I learned. All right, I was 14 years old. I was at this place called Skate Odyssey. We, teenagers, I wasn't even able to drive yet. We get dropped off there, sneak a little half pint of whatever, and go skating. And I was pretty good. I learned to ice skate first. I was pretty good on roller skates. I had my own sneaker skates. It was like the blue jogging shoes from back then with the skates on them. And we'd go skating every Saturday, Sunday, whatever, at this Skate Odyssey. Okay, and I was a big guy. I was tall. I was taller than most people, so I didn't know much about scrapping. I was a quiet guy, but I thought, I was tough and everything. I looked tough. I was intimidating, even at 14. So I was skating. Went skating with my friends, and we're going around. There's a tune playing, and I'm getting into it. And I noticed a guy, he's a little smaller than me, skinnier, probably about 50 pounds lighter, maybe, 8 inches shorter than me, go by, and he comes really close to me, and kind of brushes by me. So, I think I'm gonna let this guy know what's up. I'm gonna stare him down. Who do you think you are, man? Getting in my face. So this reminds me of people today, people getting cut off in traffic. And this is the point of this video, is the pointlessness of this. Just ignore it is the better idea. You're not going to be able to teach anybody a lesson. People are going to do whatever they're going to do. Anyway, so I stare this guy down, right? And he comes to a stop, right? So I'm all right. I come to a stop too, and people are still skating, going all around us. And I walk up to him, and I'm going to do the usual. You got a problem? What you going to do about it? Maybe even a little push in there or some little shove. So this is what's going through my head. So I go up to him. Before I even get one word out of my mouth, before I even do anything, he cocks back, takes a punch like this. I learned these punches later on. Drives with his shoulder, drives, and it goes through my head. Picture a stop sign back here. Twist on impact and drive straight through, throwing all your weight behind it. Yeah, so my head snapped back, my feet flew up in the air, bam, I hit the wood floor. That right there broke my nose, and I believe that one punch broke I think it was called the orbital disc. I'll get into that later. I got a call from the doctor later that my eye might sink down into the socket, because not only did it break my nose, it broke the bone under my facial bone, and my eye might sink down. And it's so for the rest of the week, I walked around really soft because I was afraid my eye was gonna was gonna slip down into my face. Swear to God. And that wasn't the end of it. No, I still had more to prove. So I get up and I run off the floor. My friends are all grabbing me. Dude, your nose is busted. You know, my nose was over here. And I have a small nose, a hard to break nose, and it was broke good. All right, you know, so I decide I strip off my skates. This guy isn't around. He ran out of the building. I'm gonna go chase him. Right? My friend's like, no, dude, your face, you know, your nose is busted. You know, don't go to the hospital. And I run out the door. And I run directly into a half circle of him and about 6 or 7 of his friends. In a big half circle as soon as I come out the door right around me. Didn't get a word out. Just bam, 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 bam. Down to the ground again. I actually got scooped up by another guy that I went to school with. This other guy, I had gotten in like 3 fights since like first grade with this guy. He always beat my ass, but he had respect for me because I never backed down. And, you know, even though I got my ass kicked like 3 times, he's the one that picked me up and brought me to the hospital. You know, like I said, you earn respect. You know, a lot of times guys become friends with these other guys. So, like I said, I ended up getting my nose straightened after this. You want to know how they straightened the nose back then? They knocked me out for this, thank God. With drugs, they knocked me out. And they put gauze over here, and they used an actual rubber mallet. I asked them after, swear to God, and they used like pliers to pick it up and put it back down where it belonged. And then I had a cast on my nose for it heals fast, like within a week. Here's the thing, I almost got in another fight at the mall, like not even 2 weeks later. And the guy swung at me and I ducked, and thank God I almost re-broke my nose again. This just happened a lot when I was a very tall guy, but like I said, I had this thing where I'm going to teach him a lesson. You know, this is my point here. You cannot change how other people are going to act. You can't, a lot of people think about I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. I'm not going to back down from him. I'm going to show him who's boss. I'm going to let him know. I'm going to stand up. This brought me so much peace of mind in my last 16 years of recovery. You cannot change what other people are going to do. You cannot change how other people are going to act. You can't teach somebody a lesson. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to say what they're going to say. The only thing you can change is how it affects you, how you let it affect you. I swear to God, this has brought me so much peace of mind. You see people nowadays, and if you haven't gotten as many, a lot of people haven't, lucky through being smarter than I was, haven't gotten as many scraps as I have. And I've learned this, that not everybody, when you jump out of, if you jump out of a car, you start yelling at somebody, or you confront somebody, I'm going to show them who's all, I'm not going to let them get away with this kind of thing. I learned that you got to remember the other guy. Not all people are thinking the same way you think. Not all people grew up the same way you grew up. A lot of the guys I fought were beat unmercifully growing up with alcoholic fathers. Seriously, I noticed this was a common factor. They would come home, if they got in a fight and didn't win a fight, they would get beat again, for losing a fight. And these people, a lot of times they have a whole different mentality. A lot of guys get out. They think, I'm tough, I'm not going to back down. I'm angry, I could be intimidating, what are you going to do about it? You got a problem? Whenever I see guys do this nowadays, I think it's one of the stupidest things, it's just stupid and it's dangerous. Because a lot of times you're going to face off, you're going to come face to face with somebody who isn't going to say a word, who already knows what he's going to do. A lot of times these guys, I've learned to spot these guys. It's not something I could really share with you guys. You have to be beaten in the face several times to recognize it. The way they walk, the way their shoulders, especially with their eyes, you're going to be in an altercation. They're going to come at you, and they're going to come at you swinging. Not all guys are going to just start off with, you got a problem, you got a problem. No, a lot of guys are just going to, bam, you know. And if that's the case, you're going to end up flat on your back because you're not expecting it. You know, you think, I'm a tough guy. This is the biggest lesson. And is any of it worth it? Is it any of it worth it? If the guy cuts you off, you know, you're going to teach him, I can't let him get away with this. No, it's not worth it. Ending up in the hospital if you lose, ending up in jail if you win, over what? Over what? When you could have just ignored it. Just ignored it and kept driving to your destination. And because no matter what you do, that other person is going to continue doing what they do. You're not going to teach anybody a lesson. This, you know, and people look at this as, you know, standing up for themselves, you know, bravado. And when actually it's insecurity and a lack of confidence in yourself. When you have confidence, you realize that the other person is just being foolish, you know, cutting people off, being inconsiderate, and you just steer clear of that person. You know, I believe in karma, and karma will affect that person, you know, will take care of that person. I don't have to do anything. It's best just to go your own way. There's no manliness in trying to teach somebody a lesson. And remember this, not all people, not all guys are on the same, you know, or women are on the same mindset that you have, you know, where you're just going to get out. You think you're going to get out, you know, maybe yell at each other, you know, that, you know, no, man, no. A lot of times it's going to be a lot quicker and a lot more violent than that. A lot of times the other person is going to strike, and it's not going to stop there with these people. These people hit, and then they hit harder and faster until you are prone and not moving. Seriously, you know, that's another thing. These people, you know, it's not a one-hit thing. You know, it's usually just aggressive, crazy violence. You know, there's nothing manly. You know, there's no bravado. There's nothing to be, you know, there's nothing to fight for. It's silly, it's stupid, and it's dangerous. It's best just to go your own way. And remember, you cannot change what other people are going to do. You can't. Why let it ruin your day? Why let it ruin your life? Why let it ruin your family's life? Over something, over what? Over somebody just cutting a space in front of you? Let it go. You know, chances are that person is going to get to the accident 2 seconds ahead of you, and you're going to avoid it. Karma to avoid it. The best thing to do is walk away. Trust me from somebody that's gotten their nose broke. And it happened again after this a couple times. Like I said, it's probably one of the worst beatings I've ever taken in my life. All right, I hope you guys got my point. Have a good Thursday.